What's going on, YouTube? We got to talk online censorship. It was trending on X for a little bit today. Spotify, not here in the United States, but in the UK. So it's a little bit global at this point. But the UK has enacted a online safety policy law, basically, that has recently passed, and people are noticing. And Spotify now, all these online companies are going to have to enforce it in the UK, at least, where you're going to have to submit your ID to Spotify and then use facial recognition software to confirm it's actually you through a third-party service. The problem with this is, obviously, the UK is not the United States, but this is part of a bigger trend. Looking into this and listening to some people talk about it outside of this, basically, Australia already has their version of this. The United States has a law that has been being pushed for the past couple years, I believe since 2020 or 2021. It's called COSA, and it is the same kind of idea. Basically, censorship law that is trying to, at least the claim is, protect younger people from online content. And this is a weird topic because not only do I agree that you should keep certain online content from younger people, but at the same time as agreeing with that, I also disagree with censorship in the sense of removing the content. It should be the kids' parents' job to moderate what they're watching, and obviously no parent can perfectly moderate anything. That's not what anybody's going to ask for. That's not realistic. Recently, we've had some big pushes here in the United States. I know any pornographic content and things like that. Texas is one of the states that requires ID verification for it. I don't have any problem with that if it's just straight up porn. Put an ID requirement on it. It's an 18 plus material. It's illegal to distribute it to people younger than 18. I don't know if that's every single state, but I know for a fact it's here in Ohio, and I'm assuming almost every other state. It's adult content. That's what it means. Video games rated M for mature. You can't buy unless you're 17 plus. All that kind of stuff. It's by law. It's regulated. I have no issue with that. I think that's honestly the right way to go. Now, when we're talking about Spotify and music, I guess, lyrics, there's already not panic, but obvious concern of people saying, hey, so what happens when they shove this? Because the Australian law is now reaching out, trying to touch YouTube and Rumble, if you ever heard of that. Basically an alternative to YouTube. It's not as big, but they claim to be the free speech version of YouTube, basically. And they're reaching out to these other online platforms, video sharing, music streaming now. How far I don't know how far this goes, but if I know anything about the government, and when they exercise power like this, it's gonna keep reaching further and further and further. It will not really stop. And like I said, it's easy for them to push this, especially if it's, I don't even want to say under the guise, because I don't necessarily believe anybody pushing this is doing so maliciously to moderate all content on the internet or anything like that. But maybe they don't see the end result of what they're pushing, because that's where this is going to go. I get it. If you want to protect children, that's good stuff. But at the same time, it's not really your job to protect every kid in the world from everything. That's just not how it goes. I think the pornography, almost anybody agrees, I would say, that's that's an outlier. That can be the exception to the rule. But YouTube videos and your Spotify, and then if Spotify's doing it, Apple Music's gonna have to do it. They're the same service, basically. It doesn't matter. And then in the end, you got to put your ID in every single thing. And I've already seen a bunch of people, the sentiment online is, the day YouTube asked me to input an ID before I can watch a YouTube video, this is the day I'm not watching any more YouTube. I'll just delete the app. And I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet. I don't want to exaggerate too much. It'll be my luck. I'll be like, hell yeah, I'll delete YouTube, and then they'll do it tomorrow. And then I'll be like, well, fuck, what am I going to do with my... But if YouTube and some of these other bigger services go down, everything's going down. Every social media app. The Australian one is based around social media more, and it's for children. I think it's 16 and under are not allowed to have social media at all, which I don't think is a bad idea, that you shouldn't allow a 16-year-old not to have social media. Whether it should be enforced by the government via ID is a little bit little bit hectic, I think, a little bit sketchy. I think it's more just like, hey, how about you just convince the parents that are in your country to be like, hey, if you're 15, 16, you don't need social media. You can have it when you're an adult if you really want it. But overall, we know it's bad for you. I don't think they have to necessarily mandate it by law that shows that you are not allowed to make an account via upload your ID, and then we'll have a third party scan your face and verify that it's you. See the T app made a video about that earlier this week. Obviously, we can't really trust all these companies that much. So the more times you upload your ID, the more times you scan your face into all these different things, the more likely it is your shit's getting hacked, and then your ID and your face is out there, and then who knows what they can get into. I mean, iPhone, the phone I'm using right now to record this, that's all based off face ID. A lot of these companies use that as their security parameter. Like, you don't want that to be happening. So this is not only a breach of privacy, I think, in the sense of, hey, if I'm 18 plus, I should be able to do whatever I want, and who gives a shit. This is coming on the tails of, it's kind of a reach, but it's along the same vein. Obviously, you might not care at all, but Steam, the video game platform that's on computers, on PC, just recently is kind of like in some hot water. They're pushing it on to Visa. Basically, the payment processors, the credit card companies, that there was an activist group that went to Visa and basically said, hey, we don't want these to be able to use your service to pay for these games on Steam. Basically, not only explicit content, like adult content, basically weird porn games and shit, but also games that are extremely violent or have like really dark shit. I'm assuming like the S word you're not supposed to throw out here on YouTube. Things like that, and they push Steam to delist a bunch of these games. So it's just a constant battle of people trying to take things down and restrict access. If you're an adult, your access should be pretty much to whatever you want. Pretty much. Don't take that out of context. Don't go too far. Obviously, there should be some guardrails on it, but it shouldn't be up to these companies to say, we're not giving you access. If it's illegal, it's illegal. That's okay. We can change the law. We can go through that process as needed. But it shouldn't be up to any so-and-so company. It shouldn't be up to the Visas. It shouldn't be up to YouTube. It shouldn't be up to Spotify to tell you what you can listen to based on your age, really, in that sense. It should be up to your parents if you're not an adult. And if you're an adult, do whatever you want. Do whatever the fuck you want. If you're not harming anybody else, go for it. Within the law. Within the law, you bunch of fucking... There's obviously always some fucking idiot trying to take it way too far, and we can't have that. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. If you've heard about this, obviously the United States hopefully will be the last bastion of not having to upload your ID every time you want to fucking watch a YouTube video or sign into your Facebook account. But for how long? Who knows? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, like it. I appreciate it. Dislike it if you didn't. Tell me why, and subscribe. Come back for more. I'd appreciate it.